Hey, good morning. Thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and see who we're going to get a message for today. Okay. So we have Aquarius. Aquarius showing up with Neptune in the second house of material abundance, self-worth, physical things, all the things. Now, Aquarius tends to rule those things that, are in alignment with our greatest and highest good. They focus on the collective. So I'll be curious to see what it is our dear friends Aquarius have to share today. All right, so I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for stopping in and checking out the reading. Let's see where we go. Messages for Aquarius, second house themes, Neptune, illusions. Are we dropping the veil? Around, right? Things that we thought have kept us safe and secure and stable. And are we shifting our perception towards something that is in alignment with the collective? Let's see. Aquarius. Okay, so underneath we have nothing will come of this situation. Are you feeling a little lost, a little uncertain? That Neptune energy, right? Are you just kind of, is it fuzzy? Is it still veiled? You're being asked to focus on healing. It's time for healing. So what are you healing your connection to, Aquarius? Is it what your belief system around what keeps you secure and stable? Is it your connection to your own self-worth and maybe places where you've given away your power? Let's see. Additional messages for Aquarius, please. Phoenix, be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. All right. So if you're feeling like you don't know where you're going, I think you might not be trusting the process and the power of the process of your healing, right? And the healing is what you're focusing on or what you need to focus on. Trust in that, right? Because all that is doing is setting you up to rise again. And then we have the marriage card. So you are attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love, right? Healed energy is high vibration. People love that. Now, with that, you have to obviously protect your boundaries. So be mindful of some of the energy that you might be giving off and how attractive it's going to be to those around you. Perhaps that's what you've been doing, right, for some time, is learning how to protect your boundaries, learning how to use your intuition and discernment to identify, right, those who are there to exploit you versus those who are there to really appreciate, your natural born gifts and the talents you bring and what you bring to the table. With that second house, right, we want to focus on things that have reciprocity to them. You can't just be sort of a bleeding heart any longer where, you give to keep safe. You got to kind of bring that back into balance. And yes, make sure that you give, but equally in proportion, receive, right? Find a tribe that wants to work with you versus wants you to work for them. A couple other messages here for Aquarius before we get into the tarot. Okay, so home, appreciate comfort and a sense of belonging. Again, second house themes of safety, comfort, security at home. Now, Aquarius is also the natural ruler of the 11th house, and that sometimes, right, that often we'll talk about your extended networks. So, even if this isn't your physical home, it could just be a place where you commune with your people and your tribe, right? Those places that we call home. All right. And then again, we have self-care. So it's a time to heal, repair, and reconnect. So heavy themes on healing, reconnection, prioritizing, our physical health and security and stability. And again, they're dropping illusions, right, around where you thought you, I don't know, were doing what was in the best interest of everyone else by sacrificing yourself. You gotta dial that bit back in and bring that back into balance, right? You can't, if your cup's empty, how can you give to others is sort of the sentiment that I'm trying to share. Let's see what the tarot has to say for you today, Aquarius. All right. Let's see if those come back out. That was the Eight of, okay, they're very noisy. That was the Eight of Cups that wanted to show itself. So let's see what else we see. All right, so overarching energy for you right now is the Hermit, right? And so this talks about that internal healing, that Virgo energy, right? The energy of Virgo, going within, searching within, doing a bit of soul searching, right? And recognizing that maybe the situation you're in isn't going to yield any more fruit, right? And like, this has been an opportunity. It could be anything. It could be a relationship. It could be a workplace. It could be a group of friends that you've been connected to, and you've been spending a lot of time in the space sort of contemplating, how you fit into that puzzle, or what that group really brings back to you. And right, with that void of course moon, you're getting a confirmation that, hey, this group isn't really going to have your back in a tough situation potentially. And instead, right, instead of just kind of sitting and wallowing, or maybe jumping ship and trying to find a new place, right, you've strategically taken that opportunity to go within, reflect, heal, and come out the phoenix, right? You've taken shelter for this time, and you're being asked to have gratitude for that opportunity. It's not often that you have a safe space where you can kind of go through that transformation. Even if it's not the happily ever after road for you, have gratitude for, having time and space to undergo that transformation, because ahead of you, right, that healed version of you is attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love in whatever form you want it, right? And but to make sure that you can stay at that highest vibration, you really have to prioritize your own personal self-care. And so these are just good reminders of that. Now, your opportunity here is the Five of Swords, and that is really to see through the manipulation, right? She's kind of, got her hand around her eye as if she's sort of zeroing in her focus a bit. And, a lot of times we talk about the Five of Swords, again, kind of showing the places where, we've allowed people to kind of manipulate us, and or we see those patterns around us, even if we are not the individual person, right, being manipulated. We're kind of seeing how in a group environment, in our social circles, those types of energies unfold and take place. And so your opportunity is to see it more clearly with Neptune here. You're being asked to drop the illusion and stop putting the wrong people on pedestals. I think oftentimes you're kind of, and here we have it with the Six of Cups, right? The Six of Cups is nostalgia. And or our inner child. And so, when we think about authority figures and sort of how we are taught as children, right, to respect our elders, and how to interact with, figures of authority, and how to never challenge, right? All of that, all of those illusions right now are really getting washed away, because I think what's becoming abundantly obvious is the manipulation of power that is, unfortunately taken hold since so many people have been placed into these positions, right? It's like they arrived at a crossroads and they had an opportunity to, right, change the story, end the cycle, or perpetuate a cycle. And unfortunately, they've chosen in many cases to perpetuate this cycle. And we're just seeing a lot of these patterns in front of us on Main Street. And that's Aquarius energy, the revealing, right? Aquarius wants you to see it. They're going to illuminate the things that are not working for the collective energy. And so, the challenge though for you is going to be that it's possible that you have nostalgia for what could have been, what was, your whatever childhood pattern allowed you to idealize that partner or that boss or whatever, relationship this might strike, and resonate for you with. But your outcome energy is going to be the Chariot. So that's Cancerian energy. So, by Cancer season, you might be feeling much more strong, much more aligned. You might be going towards a Cancer, but you're definitely taking action, right? She's got that sacral chakra energy where it's like, hey, doormat no more, right? And she's just kind of exuding, this strength and creativity. And you're not going to mess with her. She's channeling the strength and the force of the horses from her fingertips. She's done the healing. She's done the work. And now she is ready to step forward. So you're definitely, this has been a run for you, but, if you lean in and continue to work with your emotions and heal your heart and heal your patterns, you're going to come out in such a high vibration that, you'll be unresistible Aquarius placements. So why not? Why not? If you've had any self-doubt, you're being asked to kind of wash that away, because it's only going to hold you back. It's only going to keep you stuck. And, that Five of Voices, that Five of Swords energy, that could be a little bit of your own self-sabotage, right? So keep that in mind too. It's not just the manipulation around, from people around you. Look back at your own patterns, and where have you kind of sold yourself short and maybe not given yourself the chance you should have, or taken the risk you should have, because you were too focused on this second house energy, the safety, the stability energy. If that, you got to see through the illusion. I think the systems that we've built that are here to tell us how to stay safe and how to stay secure, they've been traps. And so again, I think this is just a sort of a long-winded way to say, try something new. Times are changing. All right, bunch jumped out. So in terms of your advice, or what you don't see coming rather, is going to be the Two of Swords. And so this is just going to be, you're going to be presented with a choice. You're going to be presented with a choice, and it's going to be one that kind of strikes you. It may not be on a path that, or with a partner that you had expected. And you're going to be asked to really go within and kind of evaluate, just like what I was talking about, the places in which you've sold yourself short, or you've been unwilling to take the risk that maybe you should have, and understand why. Right. So if you are presented with an opportunity, or, a new proposal for commitment, try to slow things down and try to give yourself a little bit of time to really go within and use your intuition and discernment to say, hey, why am I in flight or fight mode right now? Or, have I had a similar opportunity in the past, and how did I handle it, and why did I handle it that way? You're really just being asked to go within. Oftentimes if you crowdsource opinion or, support from a circle of friends, right? The Aquarius energy, your collective here, they may not all have your best interest at heart. So know that going into it. You have to, this is something, you're at a crossroads with the Hermit energy, and you're being asked to really go within and to make the best decision for you. And then in terms of your advice, I'm going to take all of these cards as advice. There's 5 of them, so we'll see how that plays out. Again, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is something slow, steady, secure. It really aligns with that Two of Pentacles energy for sure. This is the slowest knight in the tarot, and it's the most intentional and, stable energy of all the knights, right? And so this talks about, put in the work, take the steps to move yourself forward. It's, it's a long race. It's not a sprint, right? It's sort of a marathon, not a sprint type of energy. Yeah. So there, next to it, we have awakening, right? So you are definitely moving towards this energy of awakening. You're really starting to see yourself, I'd hate to say like purpose, but like what you're really here to do, more clearly. Not everybody's meant to work a grind, 9 to 5 every day. Not everybody's meant to work with, or be in a relationship with somebody who's kind of soul sucking, right? And so if you've gotten yourself kind of boxed in and stuck, you are being moved. You're being given an opportunity to kind of move towards this new start. Right. And so that is actually Fool energy. That's who was going to jump out earlier. I thought it was the 8 of Cups, but now that I see this card, it was definitely the Fool energy. So she did come out. So your awakening is going to lead you to this brand fresh new start. And it's beginner's mindset. You get to learn everything over again. And so your advice is really, take the steps to keep moving you towards this new start, because man, is it a big one? Justice, Libra energy, right? And so we actually have the full moon in Libra happening in a couple of days. I think April 1st. Don't quote me on that, but I think April 1st is going to be this fresh new start energy with Libra that is balancing the scales of justice, right? And depending on where Libra sits in your chart, take a look at the house that represents, right? And that'll give you some indication on what's transforming. So I think if you're in Aqua rising, I think that would put Libra in your 9th house of belief systems. So it could very well be transforming your belief systems. Again, don't quote me on that because I'm kind of riffing here. But yeah, and with all of the energy that has been in Pisces of late, right? A lot of that is like tying up karmic loose ends, and all of the planets are direct right now, I believe. And so all of the retrograde energy is over with. We've got all of these big planets finally direct. It's like a burst portal into a new future. And it's like, don't miss your opportunity, guys, to step into it, because the karmic ties, you've received your karmic justice. And there you are. Aquarius, there you are, the star. The star is all about healing. It's all about, it's such a beautiful card after the tower. The tower breaks down the structures, the star heals, right? Everything left in its path. And so, Aquarius, this is really signaling to me that you are stepping into your true self. So amazing. I love this energy for you. I hope you found something that resonates. If not, leave it behind for if and when somebody finds this. But thanks for being a part of this reading this morning, and we'll see you on the next one.